Welcome to the Teaching an Intro to Yoga course. This is the exact course that I needed when I started teaching, because actually complete beginners to yoga, as you may have noticed, are probably the hardest group of people we ever get to teach. But also I think it's so important as a teacher that we can offer this, because we really get together those students who are going to be really loyal, and there's nothing more inspiring as a teacher than those first few weeks with a student where we see their life change and their whole practice change quite a lot of them. So there's a little bit of rationale about why to teach the beginners course, some info on how we're going to market it, and there'll be more on that at the end of the course. And then some sequencing principles. The yoga and pain video covers some of the pain research, which is really useful because it shows that the body is adaptable, so we don't always need to avoid pain. We might sometimes need to go through a little bit of pain if it's tied up into the nervous system. So I just explain that, and also just how to deal with some of the common injuries so that people can enjoy class with us, looking at the course structure, looking at how we're going to use the props. And then also talking about the length of the classes. I've made them each 75 minutes, but I've given shorter options. And you'll see for each week that those are broken down so it can suit whatever your setup is. For each week, then you'll have an introduction. There'll also be some teacher's notes. And then here's the full length class, so a 75-minute class, but also a shorter version. And then it will be described where the different segments are that you might want to teach instead of teaching the full length class. There's a sped up version, which is just for you to be able to get a recap of the class afterwards if you wanted to, or to see how it was structured, and then laid out in a kind of photo PDF with some notes if you just want a visual. That would be the same for each of the weeks. So quite a lot of ways to absorb that information. I would suggest that you actually take class, do the class. And I always feel that it's not so much that these beginners classes are just for beginners, because obviously when we've got more experience, it can just be that we experience it in a different way. And going slow can be really nice. Going a little bit more subtle can be really nice. And then you'll see here towards the end of the course that I offer some other practices. So it might be that you want to teach a week with some restorative practices. So sometimes if you were teaching a longer course, or that 6th week, or whichever week, you might sometimes just find that students are needing a more mellow practice. And then similarly, if you wanted to teach an intro to vinyasa practice, then that would be possible. I will cover how to introduce the sun salutations and things like that, and some more of the dynamic practices, how we give different options for students. A little bit of guidance around different breathing techniques like Ujjayi, and how to introduce breath work or moving with the breath, which can be quite complicated for students. And then a couple of alternative practices, because sometimes it's a really good idea. We can up level the value of the course by, say, recording. You could record your own shorter practices to provide to students, or like little 10-minute practices that revise some of what you've been working with. And that way we can give students the opportunity to practice more than once a week. So they get more value. You can charge well for the course, and also they'll just be able to enjoy yoga more and see their progress more rapidly. So there's all sorts of ideas in here. There's a couple more bits to come. So like there'll be a guide for your students before they ever come to yoga. So just things that, again, we can really add to the value. I'll be adding those in before the course goes live. And I really hope to see you inside. I will be checking in with everyone in the forum, but also providing some monthly mentoring across the courses, so that if you wanted to come in and ask anything, that's always possible. And there'll be a lovely group to chat with as well. See you there.